Hi there YouTube, it's Marty, and today we're going to take a look at the Holbein watercolor favorites. It's been a while since I threw up a review on the channel, and I always wanted to do a deep dive into this sheet number 2 of the Holbein set of watercolor samplers because I just always love the colors on this second sheet. There's 2 sheets, and I reviewed both of them on my channel. I'll put a link for that. But first, let me give you some statistics on this sheet. 54 total colors in the sheet, 26 single pigment colors, so really a nice amount of single pigment, and 2 of the non-durable colors are non-light fast. Unfortunately, one of the non-white light fast colors happens to be one of my favorite colors too, and I'll run down a list of my favorites on this sheet. This is a pretty spectacular way to sample paint. For anybody that hasn't been aware of the dot cards that companies have been producing, this is just an awesome way to, like I said, sample colors, try before you buy, take a test drive with these colors and see what you think. You can almost get a couple of really nice small paintings out of these as well. And I'll give you a high definition 4K look at these colors towards the end of the video. I filmed the last half of the video in 4K because I really wanted you to get up close and have a really good look at these colors in this second sheet. The second sheet is just filled with really cool, vibrant colors. And kudos to Holbein, a Japanese company, for really putting a lot of quality effort into their paints. I think amongst my favorite paints to use, I love Schmincke, the German paints. They're really good, precision, excellent made paints. Those are my favorite paints. And then probably Daniel Smith, followed pretty closely by Holbein and Sennelier and a couple other really good brands of paint. I know my buddy Steve Mitchell over at the Mind of Watercolor, he has a favorite paint too. He loves M. Graham, and I also love M. Graham paint too. I think Holbein just gets a slight edge over some other paints that are quite popular out there. They're not cheap by any stretch, but they're good quality paints, and they're very durable. And I believe them when they say that some of these colors, 26 of them, are single pigment, because they held up. I did a light fast test on these paints over the course of a year or so from the last time I reviewed them 3 years ago, and almost all of them held up really, really well. And they mix well too. Like, I'm getting a nice green from a royal blue and a cad yellow here. This is a nice leafy green. I love that color. Here's your, at least the beginning of a 4K look at some of these colors, and just I just marvel at these colors. They are just so, bam, they just pop off the paper. And this is good Arches 140-pound cotton, 100% cotton watercolor paper from a mold they've been using forever, and I love the texture of this paper. It's a really nice cold press. But look at those reds and those yellows and those blues. They just pop, and they're great. I was up at Wet Paint not long ago, and I picked up a couple of fountain pens. These are Kaweco pens, Kaweco. I don't know how you say it, but they're German pens. They're fountain pens, and they work really nice, and I like to write with them. So I bought this one has an aluminum, this red one has an aluminum body. This one has a clear plastic body, and they're just nice pens to use. So I thought I'd use them to make my notes on this particular swatch sheet. And then I'm going to go through and talk about some of these colors and why they're my favorites. This is not a long video. This is just kind of my take on these colors. You obviously will have a different opinion, but everybody likes their colors for some reason or another, and I just tend to gravitate towards a particular set of colors. Maybe it's because I do portrait and landscape, but I don't know. For a lot of reasons, yeah, that's a really nice paint. That's that bright rose luminous paint. Unfortunately, it isn't light fast. This Payne's Gray, though, is, and it's a very nice paint. I keep going back to that rose, that luminous rose, because it's really nice. My other one is this brilliant orange right here. It's just a spectacular orange. It just bursts off the page there, and I love that. I love all the blues too, but you know, I had to narrow down a few favorites. That's such a nice color, that luminous rose. Unfortunately, like I said, it is not very durable. It doesn't hold up very well. But for if you're doing a sketchbook, you know, watercolor or something like that, you're going to shut your sketchbook and leave it closed, you know, and not expose it to light. That paint's just fine for that. It's awesome. I think people freak out over light fastness a little too much. This dot card is great. Like I said, you can reuse it and paint quite a bit with it. So what I did here is I just circled my favorites. There's this Pyro Rubin. That's a really nice blood red. It's really cool. Cad Yellow Orange, brilliant. Brilliant orange. There's that bright rose luminous. That violet there. That brown. Yes, Payne's Gray is a Payne's Gray I use a lot. Yeah, that's a nice red right there. Really nice. That brilliant orange is great. That vermilion hue. See the red at the top of that thing? It's awesome. Anyway, that's the dot sheet. It's pretty excellent. Like I said, made in Japan, good high quality. Go back and check out my review of these where I give them a rating. Wasn't particularly fond of the silver. It just didn't work very well, that one there on the left there. But all the rest of these paints were great. And, you know, I hand it to Holbein for really producing a competitive paint in the market. Really good paints. That's really it. It's a short video to say hi and see how you're doing. And if you haven't yet done so, follow me over on Instagram at owingsart and at my website, owingsart.com. That's it for today. See you soon. Bye.